All right, here's the assignment at hand. Peter Schrager, you're up first.
Okay.
Person, player, coach, or owner that you feel before we play any regular season football has the most riding on this season.
Ooh, I like it. Starting out hot here on Labor Day, week 1. We are here, folks, in Los Angeles. And I'm on the West Coast. And it's nothing here in L.A., although there are 2 very interesting teams. It's not one of the teams that was practicing out here in L.A. all summer, though there were 3 other teams that were here. I am looking up the coast, and I am looking at that coach who's kind of grown out the hair, just like I am a little bit here. I'm looking at my guy, Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, the Shan Man. This is the year that Kyle Shanahan maybe gets that ring. We know the history. They go to the NFC Championship game or they go to the Super Bowl just about every season. And last year, it felt like it was the magical season. Kyle and the Niners came roaring through the playoffs. They beat the Lions in the NFC Championship game. They're playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They get to overtime, and they decide to receive a curious decision. Of course, they'd ping-pong the ball back and forth, and it was another Super Bowl that Kyle Shanahan came up short. And this offseason, there was contract issues with Brandon Ayuk. That seems to be settled. There's a contract issue with Trent Williams that's still lingering. Some leaders, Eric Armstead walks out, goes elsewhere. Some other players have left. Some others have been joining. But I look at this past weekend, and Kyle Shanahan, they had a little party with Brandon Ayuk, with Deebo Samuel, with Rick Ross, the boss, and this is what Kyle wore to the party.
Oh, my word.
Wow.
Now, I have been texting with sources. It was actually a great Gatsby theme.
Is your source wearing number 17 in that picture?
It might have been Rick Ross, the boss. I might have been. It was a great Gatsby theme.
That's Scott Fitzgerald.
And I think, a guy who's got so much riding on this season as the head coach of the 49ers with contracts, everyone wants it. Purdy's got to get paid at some point. We've got to pay, Talanoa Hufanga has to get paid. Kyle's coming in there, and he's grown the hair out. He bookended his summer with the McCaffrey wedding, where he was wilding out, and this amazing Great Gatsby. This is me saying, hey, I've got the swag. My team's got the swag. You guys can poke holes in us all summer long. We good. In fact, we Gucci.
He Gucci.
I think Kyle Shanahan's got the most riding on this season. I also feel like he has no doubts that his team is ready to go. I'm going to say the head coach of the defending NFC champions, Kyle Shanahan's got the most on his shoulders, and he's got some hair rocking on it, too. He's growing out that hair, and I respect it. And he was rocking it like Gatsby on Friday night.
Wow.
It doesn't end well for Gatsby, right?
What is it, Little Egg?
Yeah, West Egg. Meyer Wolfsheim is this very sinister character. It's not a great ending for Jay Gatsby.
Ominous sign.
Yeah, and there's the motif of the green light and everything. I don't know. We'll see where that goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peter, you hang out with Rick Ross?
I've met Rick Ross once before, and he looked at me and was like, big fan of the show. So that is what made it. This was Super Bowl many years ago.
Is that right?
We had him on one year, and he was incredible. Yeah. Of course, he's probably happy. His Miami Hurricanes kicked the crap out of the Florida Gators this weekend.
It's all about the. Are they back? Miami's back.
They're back.
They're back.
They're back.
And Notre Dame's back.
Notre Dame's back again.
Let's go.
Yes.
Don't forget about San Diego State. But
okay.
I did actually already.
Okay.
I'll tell you who has the most riding on this season. For me, it has to be DeShaun Watson. I mean, this is a pivotal year for DeShaun Watson. $230 million guaranteed. And I know the Cleveland Browns are probably constantly asking themselves the question, why? Just that one simple question, why? Well, I mean, we know what he did in 2020 really kind of had everybody up in like, oh, wow, like DeShaun Watson is a top-tier quarterback. He got paid off of that one season that he really, he built up to that season and showed everybody what he was capable of. But going into this year, after last year, they were so good last year. You saw the momentum that they had. And, of course, he gets hurt. He gets hurt. Now he's back for this season. And you start to ask yourself, is he the guy that can take the Cleveland Browns over the hump? I've been calling this division the UFC North. I truly believe in DeShaun Watson. I like to give guys who are the underdog an opportunity to rise up. DeShaun Watson, this is your opportunity to rise up. Everything is riding on this season. And if not, Do I say it?
Go ahead. I don't know what it is.
How many years is he going to be? Yeah, I mean, it's not that crazy.
You might get shipped off.
Yeah, I think.
You might get shipped off. So it's DeShaun Watson for me.
$72 million cap hit this year, $72 million next year. It's a $72 million underdog. So we'll see. I mean, it's all guaranteed. It's all nuts. And like I've said for years, like we haven't seen him play in 4 years. I'm just trying to think about like what literary work like Jay Gatsby would DeShaun Watson. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit 451.
Ray Bradbury.
Ray Bradbury went for it on that one. I went for it this weekend. I had a crazy, crazy weekend I'm going to get into, but somehow it had to do with the Chicago Bears. I was in Chicago yesterday morning. I woke up in Chicago yesterday morning on my mother's couch. I flew from Chicago to New York with my 2 kids, dropped them off, and threw them to LaGuardia, then went to JFK and flew to L.A. Chicago to New York to L.A. It's asinine. I did it in one day. But in the meantime, let me show you this picture I was doing Saturday night. This is me. Bring it up. This is me Saturday night. My answer to this question is the Chicago Bears. There's me and my friends at Wrigley. I'm on the far left in the Mr. Big shirt and the Bears hats, the Dark Matter World Tour, Pearl Jam. Peter, that is the very opposite of the Rick Ross picture I think you just showed. And in all the optics, okay?
Literally.
That's me on the far left. So I'm at Wrigley. I go see Pearl Jam Saturday night.
Yeah.
Right after this picture is taken, all right? There's a guy who's nearby who's kind of just, he's standing there, and I feel like maybe he wanted to come talk to me or something. Yeah, so I go, okay, no problem. And I go up to him, I'm like, do I know you from college or something like that? Bring up the picture of who the guy is. This guy walks up to me and goes, oh, I love the show. I'm glad you're here. That's Shane Waldron.
Shane Waldron?
That's the Bears offensive coordinator. He was there, standing around outside the Wrigley sign, taking the picture. I'm like, dude, I'm rooting for you. This is so cool. He's like, I love the show. We had a couple days off. I'm like, are you guys ready? Like, yeah, we're ready. And I'm like, let's go.
Oh,
Caleb, this guy's pushing all the buttons.
Yeah.
He's right outside Wrigley Field. He's going to the game. Get inside the concert. If you like Pearl Jam, hate Pearl Jam, doesn't matter. Eddie Vedder, the lead singer, is born in Evanston. He's a Chicago guy. This is what happens in the middle of the concert. He's up on stage. He's wearing a Walter Payton jersey, and he stops the entire show in front of Wrigley to do an entire homage to Walter Payton.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the bottom right corner, that's Eddie Vedder in the Payton jersey, and there's a massive mural in Wrigley of Walter Payton. I have to tell you, there's a dedicated fan base for 30 years. The loudest they cheered the whole night as they put up the Payton picture. They yelled, Ledbetter,
even flow.
Even flow. None of that. Payton was the one. Jarrett Payton came up. He took a picture with Eddie. He honored him. He stole Eddie's wine bottle. My point is this. There's all these fans who've been waiting years for this concert and paid all this money to be there. When they put up the Payton picture, they went bat bleep insane. The vibe in Chicago right now is so intense, so heavy, so electric, and it's about Caleb. It's about all the new players, everything we've talked about. We've been talking about it from L.A. We've been talking about it from New York. To be there in the epicenter of Chicago a matter of days before the opener, there was so much juice, and I've said this before, it is not a Cubs town or a White Sox town. It's not a Bulls town or a Blacks. It is a Bears town. In the middle of the Jordan dynasty, the Dave Wanstead Bears won one playoff game against the Vikings, and you would have thought they were going to have a parade. If they win the opener, if they win week 2 against the Texans, boom. The vibe is so big, so rapturous. They haven't even won a game yet. Incredible night at Wrigley. It's going to be a great night at Soldier Field.
You think Caleb Williams has the opportunity to be one of those iconic names? Because I feel like with Chicago, it seems like there's always the throwback names.
Sure.
There's nobody like in the modern era.
Talk about
Even the Hard Knocks opening montage.
I know. I didn't like it.
The monsters of the Midwest.
I didn't like it. It's Bill Murray in 1980s talking about the refrigerator Perry. Refrigerator. It's a great clip. It was a great clip 40 years ago. They're obsessed with their past because they haven't done enough in the present to replace it. It's got to start.
So you take the group photo. Then you see Shane Waldron. Didn't want to take a selfie with Shane Waldron?
Not my style. Not my style.
Did you get his number at least?
No, I don't do any of that garbage. That's not me. How you doing, man? Enjoy yourself. I'm not there to network. Plus, I was halfway in the bag. I don't want to do that.
It's a work event now.
I don't know how well I represent
I want to be on the clock.
You're saying, are you ready? Yeah. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, that was it. It was cool. It was good to see him, though. Good to see him.
I got nothing when it comes to sources or party pics or musical artists or concerts I went to. I was putting kids to bed. I was getting kids up this weekend. That's it. All I was thinking about was who has the most riding on 2024 because it's just occupying my brain. Let's do a little exercise around the table.
All right.
Just name a team in the last 30 years that you feel like they always kind of have it. They fight, they battle, they always put a tough team that wins a handful of games. They're kind of a guaranteed pick.
I'd say the Cowboys in any year.
Okay, great.
I'd say the Cowboys.
I'd say the Eagles are always relevant.
Always pretty good.
Eagles, the Steelers.
The Packers.
The Steelers.
Yeah, they always matter. Yeah.
The Lions did not have that juice in the last 30 years. The Lions went through some woeful times. Well, now we're in a very warm and fuzzy time with the Detroit Lions. that doesn't mean that they should just rest on their proverbial laurels from 2023. I think in 24, because Brad Holmes just said this over the weekend in a press conference, he's like, we're looking at a Super Bowl for the Lions. Now, I did not take this lightly because, frankly, on August 31st, everyone says they're looking for a Super Bowl, which I respect and I appreciate.
They should.
But for Brad Holmes to say it in the offseason, I think means something different for Detroit, which is this was not just some one-off magical season where I have this kind of wonky head coach who does up-downs in August and everyone obsesses over it. And then in January, they played in this magical run and they made it to an NFC title game. And then, do you guys remember that 2023 Lions season? No. Brad Holmes is trying to build something here. And by him saying we have a dedicated effort to get back to the Super Bowl, I believe him, I trust him, and frankly, I think it puts the Lions on a pathway of having the most riding on them this season, because this cannot just be a flash in the pan. If you want to be an executive who put a team together that became, in the next 30 years, man, do you remember from 2023 until 2063, the Lions were so good every year? I know, it would be fun to build them up like that.